Fuerve, or as I know him, Viovix. What is your most outrageous drug experience? Oh, by the way, compliments. It's funny, I almost skipped over you because I think I pay you a compliment every time I see you. This is, for those who don't know, this is a personal friend of mine, and he and I go back all the way back to the Fuerve Puba days, all the way back to the BBS days, which is kind of where we met. Well, it is where we met, back in the early 90s, and so I can't say enough good stuff about this guy. But you know, he's not really making videos yet, but I keep asking him to. So he's actually really brilliant with all things visual. So I challenge all of my subscribers who are not this guy to go out and bug this guy on his channel, make channel comments or whatever, to start making videos and then subscribe to him, in order to apply the social thumb screws, if you will, and get him to make videos, because I think that he would be also a tremendous asset to the YouTube community at large in terms of what he can bring to the table artistically and intellectually. So, what is your most outrageous drug experience? Well, you were there. So it's silly that you ask, but my most outrageous drug experience, oh goodness gracious. Hopefully anybody who like employs me or was considering employing me at some point in the distant future is no longer watching the video. My most outrageous drug experience would have to be a party that went down on April 1st of, see, I don't even remember the year, or the next year after that party. That was I mean, it actually turned out to be a really fucking miserable experience. Like, I just fucking, I blew a gasket, right? So I had been doing a lot of drugs and going to a lot of parties and things, and so I decided at this party I was going to go sober. And haha, sober, to me at that point in my life, I must have been, well, I was 21? Yeah, 21, almost 22. Sober meant that I wasn't going to take any ecstasy, but I could take as many as 2 hits of acid, and I could smoke as much weed as I wanted. So I went to this party, and I took 2 hits of acid, but it was dropped like right out of the bottle, so it was probably more like, I don't know, fucking 100,000. I have no fucking idea. And, you know, smoked a bunch of weed, and I didn't take any ecstasy, so I held to my my deal with myself. And that was a fucked up party. It was just so fucked up in ways that I still can't even fucking talk about. Like, it's the sort of thing that really I should have seen a therapist for a long time ago, and it just, over the years I've managed to patch up the emotional damage that occurred during that time. Now, this wasn't really the fault of anybody else, but everybody who was at that party, with some few exceptions, and a few people really did have a good time, but a lot of people at that party just had a fucked up trip. And we were all just kind of in that shared headspace, and it was just bizarre, and it was just a bunch of, you know, early 20-somethings all fronting and all doing things to themselves that maybe weren't, in retrospect, such a good idea. And it's the sort of situation that when you're young really points out to you just how clueless about yourself and about life you really are, and then scalds you deep and leaves you just bereft. And so I came out of that party, and I probably did a dumb thing. You see, I was having a bit of a what do you call it, a love affair with crystal meth at the time too. And so I just got more and more into that, and more into drugs shortly after that party, and the net result was I had what I can only call a psychotic break. Now, I never saw a therapist in order to get treated for any of this, but you know, I was like hearing voices. I was terribly paranoid. I mean, it was just a bad fucking trip for like a year, and I don't remember much of it. I remember, though, I was able to get up and go to work every day, that I had to get up and go to work somehow, and that routine is what kept me going. So for those of you out there, if anybody out there watching is having a situation like that where they just went way too far down the fucking rabbit hole and they don't know how the fuck to get themselves out, perseverance and routine is how you do it. Just settle into a routine, man. Just get up and go to work every day, and just get up and do it, and if you persevere, you will come out the other side, and it will be okay. So yeah, that was by far the most outrageous. Now, I've had plenty of fun experiences, and again, I have no moral qualms with drugs. I'm definitely on the side of opposition to the drug war and all of that. I think we should just legalize it and whatever the fuck. But yeah, it's that you can't assign a moral quantity to a chemical, but you certainly can. You can admonish against the overuse of chemicals or the use of the wrong kinds of chemicals. You can certainly advise that people think about what they do, and I did think about what I did, and then I overthought, and then I stopped thinking, and then I stopped caring, and then I just started doing and doing and doing. Fortunately, it's been a long time since that event, and I managed to piece myself back together pretty well. I've become, you know, a pretty reasonably decent guy, and definitely a productive guy. But there's a stroll down memory lane. Ugh. I still, like, I have flashbacks from that party and from events and from feelings that I had that I don't even really understand still. Yeah. Yeah. Although I think that occurrence in my life is probably what led to the beginnings of me being really a rational person. I had been, I guess, an atheist for as long as I could remember, but I wasn't really rational. I still believed in a lot of mystical shit, and it was that event that kind of turned me off of that, because in the end, I was left sort of naked, standing there in the middle of nowhere with no foundation of reason beneath me, nothing but nothing, right? Nothing but sort of these mystical ramblings, which were only so much hot air, as it turns out. And so I began to take things based upon evidence, and the rest is history. I have since become a productive member of society. Okay. If you could, next question, if you could do one thing over in the past 10 years, what would it be? If I could do one thing over in the past 10 years, I would, oof. You know, I don't know that I would do anything over in the past 10 years. I think that, no, yeah, I probably wouldn't have gotten it on with my housemate. So I lived in a little house in the U District in Seattle. It was a little slum house run by a slum lord, and I had a housemate, and she was nice, and we became intimate one evening under the influence of recreational chemicals, and that just got weird, man. It just got so awkward. We just didn't talk to each other for like a year. It was just, wow. It was just, probably wouldn't have done that. Everything else is fucked up as it got. It is what it is, and here I am. Okay. Sardonic skeptic. You, sir, you are a prince among men. You're a very intelligent individual. You know what you're talking about. Your reasoning is impeccable, and you can drop the ownage. I've never seen someone drop the ownage like you, and I've been on the internet for a very, very long time. So, how do you think your channel would change if you had 10,000 subs? Well, I don't even know, I can't even fathom what that would be like, 10,000 subs. I have no concept of what 10,000 subs would even feel like. I like being able to interact with people who comment on my videos and who talk to me through my channel, and I worry that there is some line that you cross where you are no longer able to pay attention to people, where you have to, simply for reasons of time, start ignoring people. And I've never been okay with ignoring people or being ignored. I fucking hate being ignored. So I don't know how to pull that off. And I guess if I could figure out how to pull that off, then I don't know. I mean, if all of a sudden 10,000 subscribers dropped in my lap, I have no fucking idea what I would do. I might start another more personal channel like this, just so people can get to know me better and I can get to know them better. And I might do whatever you know, massively marketable shit I do on this channel. I have no idea.